illegal sexual intercourse. Is fornications in there? Yes. Is adulteries in there? Yes. How to understand this verse from the Quran? You've got to go to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He made a distinction between the person who commits zina, illegal sexual intercourse, whether they're single or whether they are married. Any of the people during the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad, during the lifetime of the Khalifa Abu Bakr, during the lifetime of the Khalifa of Umar, during the lifetime of the Khalifa of Uthman or Ali, anytime they committed fornication, the punishment was what? 100 stripes. And anytime the crime was adultery, what did the Prophet do? What did the Khalifas do? Stone them to death. Sister, you can find that in Bukhari Hadith, volume number 8, under punishments. Volume number 8, under punishment. And you will see the distinction of zina when a person is single and zina when a person is married. Okay, sister? Yes, ma'am. That, yes.
Have there ever been any punishment for fornication in this country that they make it have? Have they used
No. In this country, there's been cases, yes. In the early days, brothers and sisters, you will see America was more of a Christian nation, the days of the 13 original colonies, and there were people that were punished for fornication. But as this society moved into the new sexual age, all of that is changing. The only thing that doesn't change is that law against bigamy and polygamy. They don't want that. Why? Because it seems to imply something to do with Islamic. We got 1, 2, 3. 1, yes, brother.
What I want to ask you about, you were talking about legalization. Now, you're more than one wife here, if you're married, those who are married there. Do you have any kind of problem here with the governmental structure? Since you don't really have what we call, like I was in other countries in Africa, where they have a separate law which is accepted under the state for Sharia and accepted under the law for what they call a civil law. I don't know that you have anything like that.
We don't have it yet. I believe that in time, that in this country, there are going to be people, Muslims, that's going to fight for that and win in court.
Okay, but
I'm saying no. I'm telling you no. I'm saying, give me some more information. Let me answer you fully, inshallah. In the late 1800s, the Mormons went to court and fought in the Supreme Court to make polygamy legal. They lost. Right now, you don't have that. You don't have it. In lieu of that, I've been recommending to the brothers and sisters, anyone who's in a polygamous relationship should make written papers given certain properties for the protection of both wives. Let me explain something in this country. There's been cases where a man married to a woman, let's say for 5 years, he deserts the woman, goes to another state, and marry another woman without ever having divorced the first wife. Lived with the second wife 30 years, and then died, and the court awarded all of his property to the first and only legal wife. Because even in this country, they don't accept sequential polygamy, which means if you do not divorce one wife and you marry another relationship, according to this, most of the states, that first wife is still your wife. I'm saying, brothers and sisters, take care of your business. Some of you in Islam are still married to women, so-called legally, in this society. And some of you sisters are still married to brothers legally in this society, and you got married Islamically. And I'm saying to you, take care of your business, cut the relationship legally with your former mate. Cut it today. Do what you have to do to cut it, because legally they still have claims against you, even though they may be non-Muslim. Okay, 1, Umar, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. What is something?
Don't the Orthodox Jews, number one, practice polygamy, and two, don't they have their own system, their own justice system? Because we spoke of it last week, that they have their own system. They don't even go before the courts when they deal with crimes.
First of all, I don't think that they practice polygamy. I don't think the Orthodox Jews practice polygamy, number one. Number two, there's some things in their family law that the court allows them to handle inside of their jurisdiction and not have to go to the court. In fact, there are some things too that the courts would prefer us to deal with and not let them be burdened by our, if you would, our problems. But I don't mean polygamy. They don't accept that at all. But there are cases where the courts would prefer that you deal with your own Islamic laws as long as it doesn't conflict with their laws. That's their bottom line. Brothers and sisters, many of us believe that the United States government gives you the right to practice your religion according to your belief, or practice your religion. Freedom of religion. It's not true. What this country does is give you freedom of belief. You don't believe me? I have the law books right here. It's very clear. And every law book will tell you, no, you can practice you can believe what you want to believe, but you sure can't practice what you want to practice. And there's a fundamental difference. Yes, ma'am, then you just...
We don't like the federal government or whoever, why don't we change it?
Yeah.
What are we doing to ourselves?
You are 100% right.
Why are we making it the country a Muslim or essentially Muslim?
Guess what?
More Muslim countries.
Guess what?
Instead of complaining on
No. Guess what? It is our desire to in fact change it. We have a mandate from Quran and Sunnah to change it. Whenever you see an evil, change it. And how do you do it? The way the Prophet did it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he did, teach Tawheed, oneness of Allah, go out, develop, and grow. I think, sister, you're absolutely correct. We should stop just talking about it, but try to do something about it. Inshallah, we will, and we are. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
You were speaking about husband being just to go on. You indicated that he has to be just in how his financial treatment, but in the intimate relationship between both partners, is it permissible for a husband not to be intimate with one wife because he's inclined to the other wife?
Good question. Let me tell you what the law is. A man is not permitted to go 4 months without consummating with his wife or being with his wife 4 months. Unless she agrees. And if he does go 4 months without being intimate with his wife, those are grounds for divorce. Now, the spirit of Islam, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. You're not a true believer until you want for your brother what you want for yourself. Then that means, brothers and sisters, that we ought to be sensitive to the needs of our mates. That's the spirit of Islam, is that right? Now, brother, don't we sometimes get the hadith and club the sisters if they don't want to be intimate? And we say, it's not right, the angels curse you until morning. Don't we say that? And don't we take the hadith and say, remember what the hadith said, honey? Now, what about the sister? Who says that? Because what we could do, listen to me, what you could do actually is push them toward the haram just the way they can push us toward the haram. So, we must be cognizant of that. And if you fear that you can't keep within the limits, then you must consider separating. It's real. Because otherwise you cause chaos in the family. Stay together in peace, and that ma'aruf means everything. It means intimacy. And that's why the verse says, sister, don't leave them hanging suspended. What does that mean? It means that they cannot enjoy sexual gratification because you're not doing it, and at the same time they can't go outside of the marriage to do it. So you keeping them hanging. Wait a minute, sister, you're not next. Yes, ma'am. Sister, I'm calling you, wait. Shalom. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, say it louder.
If a brother is taking care of his first family, according to the law says, is it right or still allowed for him to take on another
Is it permissible for a brother, if he's not taking care of a first wife, is it permissible for him to take on another wife, even if his first wife is on public assistance? Now, brothers and sisters, that is totally ludicrous. Here's a person has a business. The business is failing, is in the red, losing money, making no money. They say, oh, let me go open up another business and keep this business open. Does that make sense? No, brothers and sisters, it is to me a foolish thing to do for a brother who's not taking care of his first wife. He hasn't met the foundation, the fundamental of the first wife, and he's going to take extra burden on his neck. No. Sister, it doesn't make sense. It's not right. And certainly, if they come here, I'm not going to perform the marriage. I'm not going to. If I know that situation exists, and say, Brother Sheikh, please, I want you to marry me to this sister. Please. So you want me married to this sister? Oh, yeah? Not me, buddy. Mustafa? What are you saying?
Sisters married and they weren't divorced legally by the state.
Yes.
Okay, and if a sister remarries Islamically,
yes,
what is her condition? Now we understand that the brother can have more than one wife,
yes,
so it may be a little more leeway for him. But with a sister situation, if she's not divorced legally and she remarries Islamically, is there a penalty or what is her condition?
It's a good question. I'm gonna repeat the question. Brother asked the question: if a woman is married, let's say married to a man legally, I want to define what I mean by legally here is married according to this law, because married according to Islam is legally. Now, if she's married according to this law, she should first get divorced according to this law. First, dissolve it. Now, there's situations where a person, let's say a woman married to a man, he deserts her. She can't find him. And there used to be times in this country, most states, you had to wait 7 years before the man can be presumed dead legally. That means you have to make some effort to find him. It's called the Enoch laws, E-N-O-C-K-H, Enoch laws. But most laws changed and they moved it from 7 to 5. But then what states did is use another law called desertion. That when a man deserts the wife, that's the grounds for divorce. My first point is this, Mustafa, is that sisters and brothers, well, especially sisters, have to resolve their first relationship first. If they're married, if they are tied to this system, they have to untie themselves to the system because of the fitna that can happen. Because that man can come back on the scene and he still has legal claim and rights over you, sister, and it can cause a big problem. And according to this state, your second marriage would be invalid. Even Islamically, you are still, the woman is still, even Islamically, the woman is still married to the man. She didn't stop it. What did they do? Islam, you can't just stop. There's something that you have to do. Death stops it. Or divorce stops it. It doesn't stop it by walking away. That doesn't. You have to get a legal document saying that you divorced from this particular person, lest you're still married. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I'm sorry. Good. Okay. Yes.
Does a woman have the right to obey her husband if the husband has her on public assistance, being that we know that the Quran says that the men are the maintainers?
The question is,
wouldn't it be the state having more rights?
In fact, the state does have more right. I'll show you to in a second. The question is this: if the husband, the question is, does a wife have to obey her husband if she's on public assistance? He said, look, man, I'm the man of the house, obey me. She says, yes, I will obey the man of the house. But the man of the house is not you. It's Uncle Sam. I'm telling you what it is. Uncle Sam says what it is, because when Uncle Sam come on the scene, you got to do what Uncle Sam say do. And that's why the brothers have to get our wives off of public assistance. We got to take care of our wives ourselves. Brothers, I'm telling you, we have to do it. We have to do it. And you know what? Our wives will never really respect us as they will until we get them off of the public assistance. I'd rather work and sweep the street, make me $1, take care of my wife, rather than let the system disrespect her and she got to go and lie and say, I ain't got no man, but every year you got a new baby, but you ain't got no man because you lie to get some dollars from the system. You can't do that. We can't do it. We have to say, no, man, I'll take care of my wife. You get out the way of Hussein. I'll struggle, man. I'll do whatever I have to do. I work 2 jobs, man. I'm going to take care of my woman. I'm going to take care of her. You know something? She's right. Brother, in my opinion, she said, it sounds like a joke, but she's right. She said, why don't the men get on public assistance? In my opinion, it's better for the man to go deal with the man. Say, look, man, I got a bad situation right now. I can't find a job. I want to work. Give me a job and I'll work, but right now I can't work, and I'm not going to send my wife here and lie in your face. Here I am, man. Deal with me. Give me some money to take care of my family or give me a damn job. That's what we have to do. And I agree with you, sister. Instead of when you sit down in the home and you send your wife out, go and get that money. Go get it. Go and lie. Get that money. Bring that money back here. Get out of my face with that stuff, man. Yes, ma'am. Well, even slow tonight.
It's a custom for a woman to become a part of a man's household without marriage.
How do you mean, sister? You mean shacking up?
No. Not shacking up, no. A man.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say it again. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying.
When I'm coming home, you're not listening.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She become a part of the household without marrying her brother.
In what way, sister, can she become part of the household? Give me an example.
I can speak for myself.
Okay. Okay.
I'm of age.
Okay.
Perhaps I would like to have a family, a Muslim family, but I don't necessarily want to marry a husband. Is there any kind of situation like that existing?
I think she has to be married, but just give up her conjugal rights. I don't think there's any way that man can live in the house because there's too much inherited problems and, hurt us situation. I don't know how it can be done.
Let me tell you, sis, let me give an example let me give you some dalil from the history of Islam, inshallah. There was a woman, the question is, I think, if I got it right, sister, can a woman decide to live in a household with another family, including a man, right, and other people, perhaps? Yeah. Can she get into that situation and live with them like an extended family, sort of, without marrying that particular man? That's the question. And I think, let's put some circumstances around it. Let me give you what I know from the history of Islam. There was a woman named Fatima bint Qais. You can find this in Muslim Hadith, volume number 2, in the last chapter under divorce. The first 15 hadiths gives you this story. Fatima bint Qais, she was divorced by her husband, irrevocable, and her husband asked her to leave the house. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told her to stay at such and such house. Not to marry the person, but stay at such and such house. Then he called her back. No, don't go there, because many of my Sahaba visit that house and you'll not be able to keep the hijab. Therefore, go to the blind brother. Ibn Mukhtum or something like that. I forgot his exact name. She says, he was a relative, by the way, of hers. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go there and then you can relax your hijab a little. The general principle, sister, is that we can't be alone in a situation where a man and a woman can be alone, but she cannot practice her hijab or seclusion, if you would. technically, it's not haram for a woman in a particular circumstance to find herself in a home where she is protected by other people, because the hadith says it's not permissible for a woman and man to be alone in seclusion without someone else. So if you're in a situation where there's no seclusion, then it's okay. But you got to be very, 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 very careful about that. In general, I would say no, that you can't do it. You just can't move into a family, I think. But let me check out the legal ramifications of that, inshallah. Kareem, I'm sorry.
In other words, a Muslim should live in a family setting because that's what rather.
No, I think, sister, everywhere in Islam, we should try to avoid the bad, the harm. If you are placed in a situation where it's harmful, then it's better to be in a situation less harmful. So when you look at each situation, you have to make an evaluation, because in Islam, alhamdulillah, it's flexible enough because of what's called darara, or darara is like need. You're in a, no, what's that word? Necessity. Out of necessity. You're in a certain circumstance that the choice is to live with this Muslim family or live in a shelter where it's dangerous. Then you live with the Muslim family until you get yourself in the best position. Kareem? Yes.
And she's on public assistance. You are not yours.
Okay.
I'm still the man of the house.
Okay.
And also, if she gets public assistance, I don't take nothing from her.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, what about a case like that?
Okay. I want to make, thank you, Brother Zakir Khan. I want to make a distinction. A sister, all right. We have to stop for salat after this. If you want to, we can come back, okay? But we have to stop for salat. A sister, let me first do this first. A brother marries a sister. She's on public assistance. And he takes her off of public assistance in terms of himself with her. But she has children who receive or entitled to receive public assistance. Now, the question is, can that man leave those children that are not his, but she has from a previous relationship, previous marriage? Can she receive for them public assistance? That's the question. It's a difference. And I have to be honest with you, there's a difference. In Islam, the man is not responsible for the children of another man. The responsibility is always on the natural father of the children. That's always the responsibility. Now, if a sister is receiving, in my opinion, this is like a fatwa that's not binding. If a woman is receiving public assistance, she's not lying, the father's abandoned, the father's not taking care of his responsibility. The question is, can she receive that? As far as I'm concerned, yes. I think it's better if the Islamic community would develop in a way that the Islamic community could take care of the Muslims rather than the Kafirs. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. Oh, you believe, take not the Christians and the Jews and the Christians as friends and protectors, as walis. Don't take them as walis, friends and protectors. They are friends and protectors of one another. So in my estimation, the Muslim community should put themselves in a position where they can do it, and I would encourage the man himself, even though it's not his responsibility, but to try to do it. Because in my estimation, it would be better than letting the Kafirs do it. But there's some, one of the things that we have to recognize that some of our tax dollars is in that money. So there's a whole system of things that we have to do, inshallah. But I agree with you, it's a difference. It's 100% difference than a man having his wife lie and going to welfare and having the welfare take care of her. I think it's 100% different. Jazakallah khair. We have to stop now for salah, because it's now almost 20 minutes to 12. I promise you, after salah, we come right back, and I only have like 20 minutes because we have to go to another program. Okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. Last week, I want to remind you again that polygamy is not an Islamic institution. Polygamy existed before the revelation of the Quran. What Allah in fact has done, He has regulated it. He has made it only that a man can marry up to 4 wives at one time. I mentioned you to last week that there's one time that it becomes haram. It's not permissible for a man to take another wife. And when is that? Huh? Yes. According to the Quran, if a man fears that he cannot be just between 2 wives, he can only marry one. So you must at least have the belief, I can be just between them. But I also mentioned last week, according to the ayah of the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَلَن تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَن تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ, that a man cannot be just. He will never be able to have the ability to be just between wives, even if it was his ardent desire. What does that mean? We said that meant what, Umar? Okay. It's saying, this ayah from the Quran is saying that a man cannot be just between wives in terms of affairs of the heart. That's what it's talking about. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us the example. When Allah says in Quran that if you fear that you'll not be able to be just between wives, He's not talking about the affairs of the heart, because you can't be just, even though it's your desire. But in terms of treating them with equality and justice, that you have to do, inshallah. Also, we said, brothers and sisters, that America is a Christian nation, and legally polygamy and bigamy is illegal, but it's practiced in this country in de facto, in reality. We said that more polygamy is practiced in America than all of the Muslim countries combined, but it's polygamy American style. Also, by the way, brothers and sisters, really, according to the Christian religion, nothing in the Bible, nothing in the Torah, nothing in the Injil that teaches against polygamy. In fact, some of the great prophets had more than one wife. Prophet Solomon, Prophet David, Prophet Abraham, Prophet Moses, many of them, and many prophets, they had many wives. And this is according to their own Bible. So is this the people in this society who allow you to have, here you go, you have a mayor of New York City, a mayor who yesterday, instead of marching in front of the parade, he marches with the gay people. Can you imagine that? Mayor of the city marching with gay, here it is, against the Bible, against the Torah, and then he marches with them to say that it's okay, look, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be homosexual. So brothers and sisters, this is against us. And we said also last week, never apologize for what Allah has revealed in the Quran. You don't have to apologize, it's there. Polygamy is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has permitted. And the last point I said, some of the sisters think, and some of the apologists have said, that a woman could never stand to share her man with another woman. And we said that's not true. While women who's the first wife may not like the idea of a husband taking another wife, but it's the women who is the second, the third, or the fourth wife who chooses voluntarily to marry a man already married, which says that the law of polygamy is as beneficial for the woman as it is for the man. In fact, I think that if we banned it, which we can't do, we said no more polygamy, I think more sisters will be hurt than brothers. That's how I feel. Now, brothers and sisters, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up for questions and answers, statements. Any statements you want to have, it's okay. Now is the time to do them. Last week, I had about 10 people who had some statements to make, and now I'm going to give you that opportunity. Questions and or statements. Yes?
I've heard by many sisters that they wouldn't be against it as much as if the brother approached it in the correct manner. Could you expound on what is the correct procedure?
Okay, good. Brother said that there's some sisters who said that they wouldn't mind it so much if the brothers approached it from the right manner. And I agree with them, by the way. I agree that all of us need to go to school in a real sense and to learn how to approach it. Number one, first of all, we shouldn't sneak around and do it in secret. Why shouldn't we get married in secret? It's against the Sunnah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in getting married, proclaim it, announce it. And the more people, the better. Don't go, brother, one of the worst things you can do, go and sneak and get married to another sister and your wife don't even know about it. This is not Islam. This has nothing to do with Islam. Why? Because the polygamy affects everybody. That means everything has changed. The wife's time has changed. And so when you're going to be away from your wife, what you going to do, lie? So where were you? I was working all night. Every other night you work all night long? No, it doesn't make sense. And because sooner or later you're going to be confronted by it anyway. Not only that, if you sneak and marry a sister and nobody knows about it, or very few people know about it, if you're with this woman in public, it's a Muslim sister, then you give her a bad name. They say, what's this sister doing riding around that car with that brother? Well, that's my husband. But who knows about it? So you bring suspicion on the couple, and it looks very, very, very bad. So the first thing we should do, we should be honest, with ourselves, honest with our mates, and then to do it in the open, inshallah. Yes. Good. Everybody's in the spirit of Ramadan. They don't want to talk about polygamy today. That's very good. Good. All right. That's it. Yes, Mustafa. Wa alaikum salam.
My question is, as a brother marries a sister, and he marries one wife who's a Christian and the other wife who's a Muslim, and his wife, and he happens to die, what would be the condition of his body at that particular time? Who would have more rights to his body?
If the brother is married to two wives, one is a Christian and one is a Muslim, and he dies, who would have better right to that body? I would say what he should do, he should write a will saying that in the case that I die, I want to be buried according to the Islamic law. Contact such and such person. And brothers and sisters, this is very important because we know cases where brothers have died and sisters have died and their family members took their body and buried them as a Christian and we couldn't do anything about it. So please make sure you take care of your business. We have papers about how to prepare your will and also statements about death if you die. I don't know if we have any more left. Is Luke still around? Assalamu alaikum. Salam. We have any more of those sheets around? Anybody know?
No, I have one. I can run some copies.
Would you? Inshallah. When could you bring it? When could you bring it?
Next week, inshallah, this class I'll have.
Okay, inshallah, next week, Brother Shakur will bring us some of those sheets of papers that talks about how to dispose of our bodies if we die, inshallah. Yes, answer?
Yes, I was debating with a brother, and I told him that he had to tell his first wife that he was going to get married. He said that you said that you don't have to.
No.
Okay.
I said, let me tell you what I said.
Okay.
The question is, does a man need the permission of his first wife in order to take another wife? No, he doesn't. But does he have to tell? Of course.